guest speaker today, Advocate Pradeep sir, and of course our spectators. Before commencing today's session, I would like to enlighten you all about Vasundhara The Green Society, Law College Dehradun, Faculty of Uttaranchal University. Vasundhara is one of the prestige society whose work is not only devoted to the environmental crisis but also to adopt modern ways to connect with the dynamic world and bring awareness to the general public. VTGS aims at the creation of a green campus with phased initiative involving the student community and all the stakeholders, making the university the first of its kind in the region to achieve environmental social responsibility. The society has a global vision with a local focus and collaborates with similar institutions to enhance efficient use of resources and sustainable development. Moving forward, I would like to take a moment to honor our Honorable Dean Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna Sir, who has more than 40 years of working experience, which include 15 years service in prestigious Indian Air Force and the residue in teaching, research as well as administrative experience. He began his career as an airman and subsequently he resigned after 15 years of glorious service as a combatant defense personnel and joined DAV College Dehradun as a lecturer in law. A renowned face in legal academia of the state, he is a member of no less than 13 top ranked institutions related to law, including Indian Law Institution and International Center for Alternative Dispute Resolution. He is on the panel of more than 15 university and state public service commission. He is trained mediator from International Center for Alternative Dispute Resolution, New Delhi. 3 students have successfully completed and presently 8 students are pursuing their PhD under him. In addition to these, more than 35 LLM students have completed their dissertation under his guidance and supervision so far. Now, I would like to introduce our Chief Support and renowned chairperson, Professor Dr. Lakshmi Priya Vinjamuri Ma'am, International Doctorate in Biotechnology, a dual Master in Constitutional and Administrative and International Law, General Management. She is the co-founder of Green Face NGO. She is also actively associated with the Uttarakhand Biodiversity Board. She is employed in the role of legal academician and chairperson of Vasundhara The Green Society of Law College Dehradun. Also nominated as a Vice President Uttarakhand State for WICCI in 2022 and the convener Policy Advocacy for IWN Andhra Pradesh for the year 2018 to 19. The Indian Women Network chapter of CII. She is a recipient of 5 national awards, namely the Indo-Global Excellence Award in Law 2017 from the IGCCIA and many more. I thank you, ma'am, for your tremendous work in building this society. On the behalf of our society, I desire to appreciate the Honorable Speaker. Further, I would request Dean Sir to kindly introduce today's distinguished speaker, Advocate Pradeep Rai Sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, Advocate Pradeep Raji, today's keynote speaker and chief guest, also Vice President of Supreme Court Bar Association, Professor Priya Lakshmi Vinjamuri, Chairperson of Vasundhara The Green Society, President, Secretary, Vice President, and all the office bearer of Vasundhara The Green Society responsible to organize this webinar. My dear faculty members from Law College Dehradun, Uttaranchal University, and other universities, dear participants, those who have connected with us today, and those who will be watching this through our YouTube channel. I take this opportunity to extend my greetings to all of you. Also, I take this opportunity to welcome you all on the behalf of Vasundhara The Green Society, Law College Dehradun, and the entire Uttaranchal University family. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the third day of this webinar series with the theme Environment, the Spectrum of Life. And mainly the speakers, they have come up with the topic that is the international environment consciousness. And before this, we have already been interacting with the Dr. Pradeep Mehta ji, Dr. Chandra Prakash Sharma ji. And today we are really privileged to have with us a very senior advocate, renowned personality, and who is the Vice President of Bar Association of Supreme Court of India, Mr. Pradeep Rai ji. I'm asked to introduce today's speaker, but ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you the introduction of Mr. Pradeep Rai is not new to anyone who is even remotely associated with the law and legal affairs. But still, Mr. Pradeep Rai is a senior advocate and Vice President of the Supreme Court Bar Association. He has over 25 years of standing at the bar in Supreme Court of India. Various high courts, commissions, regulatory bodies, and tribunals. He has an experience in litigation across a wide spectrum of civil, criminal, revenue, constitution issues. Mr. Rai is the founder of various subcommittees of the Supreme Court Bar Association that include Grievance Committee, E-Commerce, Health Committee, Bar Coordination Committee, Culture Committee, and State Subcommittee. He has launched several schemes in the interest of bar. That includes discounted travel scheme, affordable housing scheme, free medical facilities, academic professional excellency, and training programs, and free fast tag scheme for the members of the bar. He is also a member of National Anti-Doping Agency NADA and also the president of Society for Human Rights and Civil Liberty SHRLC. He, he had also represented various top corporate houses, celebrities, film stars, politicians, and chief minister of various states. Mr. Rai has closely worked with 25th Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice M.N. Venkatachalaya, and 27th Chief Justice of India, late Honorable Mr. Justice J.S. Verma, and played an important role in the area of prisoner reform. And ladies and gentlemen, as far as I know Mr. Rai, he is a thorough gentleman, and particularly he is always among the students, always ready to the students, and every time I see students are doing internship under his chamber, under his benign presence, not only from Delhi, but from across the country, even from my own university. And as they have told me that sir has been a guiding figure, a superior over there, and they have taken all the issues related to their internship. With this, I take this opportunity, Rai Sahab, to once again welcome you on the behalf of Uttaranchal University. And today we are meeting online, but it's my request as well as invitation, Rai Sahab, to come sometime to university and we'll have an interaction with my own students. It's a very old college. We have established Law College Dehradun in the year 2002. And today more than 2,000 students, law students are on the roll. So I will of course send you the invitation proper, but here I am taking this privilege to invite you for some of the event in Law College Dehradun, Uttaranchal University. You are most welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, yes.
Now, I would like to request Mr. Ritik Agrawal, sir, President, BDGS, to deliver the opening remark.
Thank you so much, Anjali. Journey with me to a true commitment to our environment. Journey with me to the serenity of leaving to our children a planet in equilibrium is an inspiring quote by Paul T. Songis. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to one and all present here on this delightful day. I, Ritik Agrawal, President of Vasundhara The Green Society, would like to thank our Honorable Dean Sir Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna Sir, our respected Chairperson Ma'am, Professor Dr. Lakshmi Priya Venjamuri, and I am profoundly delighted to thank our honorable guest, Mr. Pradeep Rai Sir, for taking time out from his busy schedule and bestowing us with your presence. First of all, on the behalf of our team with respected chairperson ma'am, I would like to welcome you all to this prestigious second edition of National Webinar Series with the theme Environment, the Spectrum of Life on the topic International Environmental Consciousness. It aims to educate, demonstrate, and deliver information that is of interest to the student on various aspects of environmental jurisprudence, covering all the legal aspects related to environment renowned by the renowned speakers from all over the country. The event's objective is to help the students to acquire knowledge, values, and practical skills to participate in a reasonable and effective way for the management of a quality of environment. The spectrum of life in the Hall of Biodiversity is an evolutionary trip through the amazing diversity of the life on Earth. The 1500 specimens represent a wide range of plants and animals from the smallest microorganism to the aquatic giants. Environment plays an important role in healthy living and the existence of life on the planet. Now, I would like to thank the host for giving me this opportunity to give an opening remarks on this prestigious webinar. I virtually pass the mics to the host of the day.
Thank you so much, sir. And for further details, I would be honored to invite Advocate Pradeep Rai, sir, to throw some light on the matter. With that, if we have any question regarding the issue, I would ask the participant to raise the question through chat box.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Honorable Dean Sir, Professor Rajesh Bahuguna Ji, Honorable Lakshmi Ma'am, and Ritik, and all these students and participants in this international seminar. You see, this subject itself is very close to the heart of the courts, because whenever there is a development, so-called development or is actual development, sometimes need of the nation, they are always complainant about the interference of the court, because now this legal fraternity has a wider and bigger responsibility on their shoulders. They have to actually see and make sure that the development should be a kind of sustainable development. It should not be at the cost of environment. Many of the cases which we have seen, like there is in Uttarakhand itself, there was 4 laning of road projects, and those projects were actually halted by the courts, and court intervened in those matters. And what I realized, that then after the intervention of Honorable Prime Minister, that these projects are actually required for the state for the use of army, and for the defense purposes it was permitted, that yes, if it is the for the purpose of national security and on similar such issues, it should be permitted. We have seen so many actually problems which stem from the greed. Actually, you see the mining projects, all these mining, illegal mining is a big problem in Uttarakhand, in Uttar Pradesh, in many other states. Wherever you find a river, you will find that there is all these illegal mining mafias are actually working, and they are making crores, but at the cost of livelihood, at the cost of environment, at the cost of health and other issues of the public in general. This happens, and there we all have to intervene. At some point of time, we all have to think that how to deal with it. Even these towers for this, where the telecom towers, which are installed at several places, you will find in each and every colony there is a telecom tower, and because of that telecom tower, so many health problems are actually happening. Nowadays, in the several courts, the compensation cases has been filed that because of these towers, many of the persons having skin problem, even it's causing cancer at some point of time, because there is a kind of throwing signal. There is a minimum or maximum limit of the signal is there, but because they don't want to invest more, so in place of installing 5 towers with the lower signals, they are installing one tower with the huge signal, so that it covers entire area. So because of that, so many problem is there. All these things has to be checked, and they have to be actually investigated properly, that whether these projects are actually causing some health problem. So you see all the developments. At one point of time, at one side, we are happy that these developments are taking place, but on the other side, we have to make sure that it should be causing minimum harm to the environment and human being. You see, population and is also a problem. We all say that population is a big problem, but population is there, but there should be balance. All these balance we are forgetting. You see, the hunters are there in the forest. You see, so many, even these rhinos. You find that all these forest reserves, all these areas has been farmed. Not today, it been farmed long back, and most of them were farmed by the Britishers. Earlier, there was in one family I have visited, Vijayanagar family. That family alone has killed 1,300 tigers, and they have kept it in their house. I am not saying that those days it was a fashion, they used to do it, it's okay. But today, if you see, this is not the total number of tigers we have. So we all have to see that how all these developments should be taking place and what we all should be doing it. Initially, whenever there was a environment matter brought to the court, I had seen that in those matters, the courts normally they used to stay, and then there was the expert committee. They have appointed the central empowered committee. Those days, one forest officer, Jivrajka, he used to be one of the member secretary, and they all used to be, the many other members used to be members. And Harish Salve, my dear friend, he used to be the amicus in those matters. And gradually, the court started intervening. Finally, in 2010, when National Green Tribunal came to the existence, thereafter, at least we have the forum where you all can file at least cases and complaints. I recall that when even the Safai airport, in which I was appearing, was being constructed, and they were trying to enhance the capacity of the airport, there was a lot of complaints that there are so many Saras cranes are there and they will die if you actually do it. And even this fly also, if you fly, you will find that so many species, so many birds, they die. Each flight lands, and you will find 100, 200 birds, and even they don't lay, they lose the capacity to produce. They can't actually grow their numbers because of these flights. So all these things are there, but at the same time, we all have to think, we as a lawyer have the greater responsibility. You all students, even you have a bigger role to play. Whenever there is something brought to you, like this, you see coal scam, coal minings, you find, you will see that so many other issues like land use. Near the any airport, you will find that there is a limit, that airport authority do not permit a building of certain height. But gradually, despite all these rules, you will find that Bombay Airport and Delhi Airport, in place of landing and taking off by the four corners, you will find that now it has become the two-corner airport. Because the left and right, both sides, they have actually constructed huge buildings, multi-story buildings. So one side, both the sides are blocked. Now the planes can't land from that side. So despite having a big airport, you have not the capacity of landing from all sides. You have only two ways, north, south, or east, or north or west, like that, because those sides are completely blocked. So that is the problem. When you start relaxing the rules for someone, then you have to relax for many. And when you do not relax the rules, then you get the political interference. In my opinion, first of all, the public in general has to be aware about the problems of environment. And they should also be make aware that, you see, once you fail on this front, what will be the implication? What is going to happen in your life? Because of this, what kind of sufferings will be there? It's not just only you are opening a factory in Kanpur and putting all the wastage in the river. Ultimately, you realize that the money, whatever the industries has gained by business, we have invested more than that in cleaning the Ganga. We have invested almost, we are keeping investment like thousands of crores every year, so that Ganga is clean. But we all know that it can't be cleaned, because still pollutants are there, steel wastage is coming, drainage are coming, and all kind of industries, they are actually part of in the pollutant products. So we all have to see, similarly, the soil part, we all have to see that what kind of challenges are there, how to deal with it, and we all have to be conscious about it. This kind of program is I personally, I thank you all, even your dean sir and Lakshmi ma'am, that they are actually, what they have done, it is really a great and commendable job. This is not a easy task that you all are working on this direction. In this kind of education is actually going to help each and every citizen, and this kind of awareness is must, because rivers, mountains, and then the mining, all these things are indirectly correlated. If you, there are a study that in next 50 years there may be a war for the water, and still you see that there are so many states are fighting. Haryana and Punjab are fighting for the water. Kaveri Narmada dispute is there. So many tribunals have been formed by the Supreme Court only for the water dispute. Because of, you see, this, if you do not have the clean water, if you do not take care of each and every aspects of your life with the development and in the correlation with the environment, then there will be so many problems. There will be so many wars. Even you see the, what is the root cause of fight between Assam and other states, Manipur and Nagaland, then Assam and Nagaland, then Assam and Meghalaya, and how much money we are investing in it. Yamuna pollution is there. You see, in Delhi, everybody talk about the Yamuna pollution, but you can't control that what's happening from the beginning, and where these pollutants are coming, what you are doing with the on the river banks. After this flood, Kedarnath is now clear. It's clean. Thereafter, you will find that so many other river banks up to the Haridwar, they have cleaned it. But how you allowed these encroachments? That is the issue. When you permit any officer who is permitting or passing a map of a building, or allowing the mining, they should be held responsible if it is not within the bounds of law. That part is not happening. That part must happen, because you see, whenever you do something which is going to harm environment, and ultimately whatever final harm is there, like it's a kind of union carbide every day. In one incident, you find that so many cases. We all are signatories of the environmental protection, Paris Declaration, then all these UN declarations. We are part of it. Thus, being part of it will not suffice the purpose. The purpose has to be ensured by so many other things, like parali burning. You all have to, scientists also have to work in this direction. The farmers, they find it easier to burn the parali in place of uh, taking it out and then doing, because animals are not there. Earlier, you used to feed animals with that. Now the animals are not there. The quality is less. We all are using tractor. At one point of time, tractors were actually a very good thing, luxury. But ultimately, you have to do it with the animals, because then animals, they stay. They can use the products, byproducts of animals for the for your. You can see that in place of urea, you can use that, and so many other things. But now all these things are lost. Even tree felling of trees. You see, like Arunachal Pradesh is a state. There you will find that 93% forest is there. Initially it was 79%, then gradually it has been 93%. Now the state is demanding that you should pay us green cess and green budget, because the state is not indulged into all this. They are creating green area. So because of creating green area, you should be paying them something. And these kind of incentives are required. When any state government or any particular district or even a village, if they are focusing on this kind of projects which protects the environment and which is going to contribute, then they should be rewarded appropriately. Just because we say that TN Ghosh Burman case is there or something is there and NGT is there, each and every time you will see, you just see the cause list. Your cause list is not even 2% of the cases, because it's motivated. Nobody is interested in coming to the Delhi and filing the cases. Most of them, it requires money, it requires your time, and then the threat, the danger. Many of them who are opposed to the ideas of this environment and the consciousness, they will not do it. There was time, even water level is going down. You see, even these hand pumps in many areas are not working. Wells are not working. Ponds are not working. This PMGSY and this PMGY, all these budget, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Yojana, all these things, they used to do all this. Even Manrega, they tried to create some ponds, but actually it is being used or not. Actually, it is being implemented on the ground or not. Somebody has to make sure. All these awareness are there, speeches are there, but you see this kind of, if colleges, they are involved into activities, and if they are actually focused on these things, I am sure, Lakshmi ma'am, that because of your these efforts and Ritik and all, that this kind of message will go to the society, and many of our students, they will become the ambassadors. They will become a kind of torch bearers by to protect the environment. Article 21 of the Constitution, we have already covered this into fundamental rights. But just covering in the fundamental rights and of making sure that this is a kind of human right to have the clean air and have the clean water, it is not the it will not serve the purpose. We all have to work in the direction in which we all should be having something and with the projects, and those projects should be implemented on the ground level. So that is the basics which I wanted to share. But you see, thermal power projects, that is there, gas projects are there, and it all has to come through the mining only. Gas mining, deep sea mining. Now this deep sea mining project is into jeopardy. So many problems are happening in the deep sea. So we have to make sure that what we can do and what we can't do. And if we are doing one thing, how to substitute it. It's like a vitamin deficit of your body, that if one vitamin is lesser in your body, you have to take the substitutes. And what substitutes can be taken? We have to treat this environment as an organ of our own body. If we don't treat this as our own organ, your body will suffer. You will spend the money in doctor, you will spend the money in surgery. You may not lead to healthy life, you may not enjoy your life. You may have electricity, but because of that thermal power project, so many of you are maybe having liver problem, maybe having heart problem, maybe may not have the clean air. So many other problems, even veins problem, spine problem are even developing nowadays because of thermal power projects and this telecom, this 2G towers, 4G towers. Because towers throw the signals in one direction. Nowadays, the towers are being installed, which is the 360-degree signals are there. And those towers are being installed just to save money. In US, you can't do it. You have to install towers with the minimum signal. Here you are just using it. We all have to be very, and many of our citizens, they don't know, they have given these towers rights of their rooftop. They have installed on the rooftop. So all these things has to be considered. We all have to make sure that we are careful about the conditions of the environment, and also the public at large should be made aware for this. I am thankful that this university, Uttarakhand University, is organizing such a wonderful program, and I congratulate Madam Dean sir and all the students and the coordinators, including Ritik and everyone. I am really thankful to everyone. If there is any question, they can ask, and I shall be happy to respond to that.
Thank you so much, sir. We have the participants' question with us. They would like to be answered. The first question is, in what manner the overuse of pesticides and fertilizers affecting the environment?
You see, if you, first of all, you are spoiling the soil. If you are using pesticides, you are spoiling the soil. And those pesticides, there are so many pesticides now, it's banned, but we have already used it for a long time. So to cure it, only the same old traditional farming you have to adopt, and that should be made compulsory, at least in few areas where the land level and soil level has gone to the worst level. We all have to do that. And it's affecting the companies which are providing all these things. They should also take the responsibility. Government should also come with a clear policy that this is the basic parameter in which you have to prepare all these things. Unless you do that, this will be a very difficult part. Now, soil problem is really a very bigger problem. Sometimes earlier they what used to do that they just used to leave the farm without any farming, the land without any farming, and within 10 years, 20 years, land cures itself. But because of these chemicals, because of these products, it's very difficult. It takes, people say it takes 30 years, sometimes it may not be cured also. There are so many plants which are coming in. If you just plant it, your entire land is off the water. You will not have any farming in that land. Plantation is must. You have to plant there at least for 30 years, 40 years, if this is the situation. But we have to come with a proper solution. And these industries should be given a clear guideline prior to issuance of license that this is what you will produce, this is what you can't produce. Yes, Anjali.
Thank you so much, sir. This next question we have is, how can mining become more environmentally sustainable?
You see, you have seen this Jharkhand. What has happened? They with the coal mining, they have spoiled the entire area. You have to have the mining only when it is necessary, when it is necessary for the creation of national wealth, and it is necessary to creation for the sustainability of the country. But you can't do it at the cost of your entire environment, because ultimately the human being is going to suffer. Animals will also suffer, but we don't care for them, because animal rights comes after the human rights. But first rights are humans rights. Why to do something which is not good? Now the government has opened its eyes. Now you see so many coal mines had been blocked, so many mining projects had been stopped, halted by the courts, and now only permission is being granted to lift the some of the materials which already have been mined, and how to mine it. Like you have, I don't know how many of you have been to Meghalaya and other northeastern states. You will find their rat hole mining, because the tribals, they have rights of the land inside and above the land, both. Under the sixth schedule of the constitution, they have all the rights. When they have these rights, then their mining is not planned. They can do mining today at one place, the next day some other place, and many of them, they die. In the rainy season, when the water is filled, they die because of that. Many accidents happen. But because of their rights, nobody intervenes. But actually, the time has come when we have to guide them. They have to make them aware. And if somebody is doing some good job, we should give them some incentive. That incentive part is must nowadays. Yes.
Thank you, sir. And the very last question we have is, how is globalization affecting the environment?
You see, globalization means that you see the fashion industry, medical industry, so many other products. Yesterday, I was just reading some write up from a dear friend, and he has researched something on the use of even so many health vitamins. He has done something on this vitamin B12 and D and one other, I don't recall it, he has done. And then this all kind of these pills which are coming, that is also not environment friendly. This is what he says. And because of the globalization, and fashion industry is also affecting at large, all these chemicals is being generated, and most of the chemicals which you apply, that even after the washing itself, your skin may not recover. And not only the skin, but when it goes to the water, it takes 3 years to clean that, 3 years to settle it down. All these things are happening. Globalization is an issue. Multi-story is coming. All kind of this power projects, this 2G, 3G, 4G, whatever you see, all these projects are there. You can't, and it's also true that now we can't go back to the era of 12th century. We have to sustain with this. We have to like this, all these cloths we have to wear, all these kind of products we have to use, and we have to sustain with it only. So we have to find out a way, and it cannot happen unless there is a global agreement. The globalization is there, global, because of environmental problems, because of globalization is there, but the solution also lies in it. Now we all have to talk to each and every country, and there should be a proper summits every year. It's happening nowadays. After the Paris summits, if the country, they do not sign it, or if they pull them out, they are being criticized. But we all have to consider it, and many of the countries, it has to be, efforts has to be made by at the top level. All the countries has to be part of it, and everybody has to deal with it, because this kind of problem which has been created because of globalization, it has to be solved also by the globalization only. The same issue, entire all the countries, all the nations, United Nations, they all have to come in, and then they have to deal with it. The Security Council, whatever we say that they are in the war, but this is the real issue, they should be dealing it, because the water, health, all these problems are there, land, soil. If the human being will not be there, then forget about the war and the other security issues. The primary security is environmental security nowadays, and that has to be protected.
Thank you so much, sir. We couldn't be more thankful for your kind presence for our today's session. Now, as we are close to concluding the session, I will request our respected chairperson, Dr. Lakshmi Priya Vinjamuri ma'am, to accord their respective closing remarks.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry about that. So there was another call coming through. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pradeep sir, for being with us this afternoon. I have a direct question from you. I've tried to understand. But then what is your view? I mean, it is about environmental consciousness on the international platform. So I just have a question with your permission, Anjali and Shaurya.
Yes,
So, yeah. So my question is, as far as the Kyoto Protocol is concerned,
yes.
what is your take on the fact that US refuses to be a signatory to it?
You see, there are that is the problem. When somebody who is the having a lot of power, and that power goes into head also, sometimes even the normal human beings. As a country, US has all the resources. They are not dependent anymore, because they have protected their resources. They have taken oil from the Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, but not, they have not invested, taken out any activity in their own country. All these things are there. So they are not dependent on anyone, but they have to follow it. They cannot decline it. This entire world has to be bold enough to criticize them, and there's similar restrictions. It's like a war kind of situation. In my opinion, if you take my opinion, I will say that restrictions for which, that like Ukraine war, they are putting restrictions, but for this also they have to face the restrictions. Many countries has to direct them that you have to do it. Unless you do, we are not going to have any business. Because US and some other countries, all the Security Council countries, 5, 6 countries, they can decline, and we can't do anything against them. It happens, and this is happening. They have to be the signatory, and they have to protect this environment. And only preaching is the one thing, and actually following is different. We all have to follow that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I think we'll deliberate further, because I think this is a never-ending question, as my students are always asking me when I try to explain to them international environmental law. They'll ask me, ma'am, why is US not a signatory to the Kyoto Protocol? Why is it that we do not have the implementation of the Basel Convention, for instance? So why are the anti-dumping laws pro the Western world, or so these are questions which sir did kind of touch upon, and I'm sure it's like for us to do a lot of research in that area, well into the facts. I'm sure, kids, that we can try to understand where he's coming from when he says that the powerful nations get more powerful and there's nothing much we can do about it, but we cannot let that happen when it comes to environment. I'm sure Pradeep sir would agree with me on that. So
Yes.
thank you once again, Pradeep sir, for being here with us on this uh, second series of the national webinar we've been organizing from Vasundhara The Green Society. My students have been working very hard to kind of get world-class speakers who can share their opinion. They don't compromise on the speakers. So that's something about my team here. So Ritik has been after you trying to fix up your time. He told me, like, we'll just do it only when Pradeep sir is free, ma'am. And I must really, really thank you for being with us this afternoon. Like Bahuguna sir said, we'd like to have you over here physically for
Yes.
a talk. we'll be really very happy to have you, and it's going to be a privilege. So just winding up, because Anjali just wants me to give the closing remarks today. So we had a talk where Sri Rai actually spoke in an extremely holistic way. If you ask me, he spoke on a variety or a range of environmental issues that require every individual's consciousness. It providing a single trigger, it's just a trigger that he's given us for holistic solution finding. So that is something we need to look for a solution. There are so many problems. You dig into the problems become more and more, there's the problems galore. But then the trigger was given by Sir for us to look for a solution irrespective of the nature of the project, whether it is sanctioned by the state, whether it's sanctioned by the NGO, whether it's sanctioned by the government. It doesn't really matter, but then we need to look at the approach in such a way that we really do strike the balance of environmental consciousness on one hand and development on the other. So, and very wonderfully, Sir has answered that question on globalization and its impact. And in the course of his talk this afternoon, we had Sir talking about, the various habitats that get affected, for instance, because of construction. For example, we had the airports getting construction affecting the migratory birds, especially the sarus cranes, and the issues when it comes to the mining, issues of coal mafia, coal mining, and then the telecom towers. Also, I'm sure, we had a lot of biodiversity that got affected because of these towers and the signals. We have no more sparrows in many of these, especially in the metros, where you have too many towers. Because of those radiations, we don't have the sparrows anymore, those little birds. And so the development vis-a-vis health, where we're talking about health of not just the individual, but of the environment at large, has been very well, put forth by Sir, leaving us a Pandora's box to explore and research upon, where we can address individual areas at the grassroots level and find a solution to the effect of globalization. Like, I really like this one statement from Sir. I actually noted it down. He said, solution lies in globalization itself. So if you have chosen to be a globalized economy economically, I'm sure environmentally also, let's find a solution to the challenges that come with globalization. So thank you once again, Pradeep Rai Sir, on behalf of Law College Dehradun, Uttaranchal University, for being with us today. And it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And so I'll pass on to Anjali to kind of take the event forward. Thank you.
Thank you
ma'am.
so much,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
Now, I would like to request the convener, Shaurya Negi, for the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anjali. It's a matter of pride for me that I am proposing the vote of thanks on this day. I, Shorenegi, on behalf of Vasundhara The Green Society, would like to bring my humble thanks to respected senior advocate, Mr. Pradeep Rai, for taking out from his busy schedule his important time and motivating us with his presence. A big thanks to our Pro Vice Chancellor, Dean Law College Dehradun, Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna Sir, for gracing us and helping us bringing this program to you. Further, I would like to thank our respected chairperson, Dr. Lakshmi Priya Vinjamuri ma'am, for motivating us and always having our back. I also would like to thank all the members of Vasundhara The Green Society, as well as all the participants who participated in this event and made it a successful one. Once again, I would like to state that we are glad to have you all here with us. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, with the permission of our chairperson, ma'am, I would like to end this session.
Thank you so much. Permission granted to end the session. So we meet tomorrow for another interesting session by Naseem Ahmed, sir. So we'll log in again at 3:30, sir. We'd like to invite you, if you can spare some time, Pradeep, sir, to join us tomorrow to hear Professor Naseem.
Yes.
Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. It
Thank you
was
so much,
wonderful interacting with
speakers,
you all.
dignitaries, and the participant to witness today's event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.